All right, so let's figure out the volume and surface area of a cone. So we've got this cone here, and we've got the slant height L, and I've taken out my handy dandy ruler, and I've measured this thing, and that slant height is about 8 centimeters. And the surface area of a cone also has, this circle on the base. And I've measured that with my handy dandy ruler and gotten about 6 centimeters. So we have a cone with a radius on the bottom circle of 6 centimeters and a slant height, so measuring down this length right here, so it's the slanted line there, is 8 centimeters. Please use that to find the volume and the surface area of this cone. Now you might be like, I need the formulas. I don't know the formulas. And I've given them to you before, but hey, you could even like Google it. And then boom, formulas pop up like magic. All right, so you've got your volume and surface area formulas that you need. And you've got the information you need to find these, and that will be your goal. This is where you pause the video, you try to figure these out for yourself, and then I will present you the solution in just a moment. Okay, so the surface area is the area of the base, which is pi r squared, plus the lateral area. So that's the outside stuff on the cone if you unrolled it, and we learned in a previous video that it is pi times the radius times the slant height. So we're just going to fill in 6 for r and 8 for L in this formula. So we'll get pi times 6 squared plus pi times 6 times 8. And to simplify this, I'm going to do 6 squared, which is 36. So this is 36 times pi, 36 pi, added to 6 times 8 times pi. And we can do multiplication in any order we want. It's commutative, so 6 times 8 is 48. So that's 48 pi. So we have 36 copies of pi added to 48 copies of pi. So we just need to do 36 plus 48. And that gets us 84. So we have 84 pi as our answer for surface area. And keep in mind that really means 84 times about 3.14. So if we wanted to get an approximate answer, I can do 84 times 3.14, and I get about 263.76 for our surface area. So that's our answer on surface area. Now for volume, the formula is that it's 1/3 of a cylinder that would be the same height. The cylinder would be the base area, the circle area, which we've already figured out is 36 pi, and then times the height, and this would be then 1/3 of that. So either times 1/3 or divided by 3. So the volume is 1/3 of the base area times the height. That's the formula. The base area, remember, is pi r squared. So in this problem, it would be 6 times 6 times pi. 6 times 6 is 36. So this will be 36 pi times the height, which is, wait a minute, the height is at 8. So this is the part of the problem that actually takes a little bit of extra work, not just plugging straight into a formula. If you use 8 for the height here, you're going to get the wrong answer because the height is talking about straight up and down, not slanted. This 8 here is called the slant height. So it's actually a different number than the height. The height would be if we went straight from the top to the bottom at a 90-degree angle. And so we can call that the height. Now that I've drawn this picture, you might be able to see what we need to do here. There's a right triangle, which has a leg of 6, a hypotenuse of 8, and the height is the other leg. So we can do the Pythagorean theorem here. So we're going to have to do Pythagorean theorem. So 6 squared plus h squared equals 8 squared. And to simplify that, 6 squared is 36, 8 squared is 64. So we have 36 plus h squared is 64. And now I'm going to subtract the 36 from both sides. So 64 minus 36, I think, is 28, but I'm going to double check on my calculator since I'm recording a video and don't want to re-record it with mistakes. So yes, it is 28. So we get h squared is equal to 28. Now that's h squared is equal to 28, so that would mean that h is the square root of 28. Now that's not a perfect nice number, so I think we should approximate it. So calculator, once again, I'm going to square root 28, and I'm getting 5.2915, so let's just do 1 decimal point of accuracy in this problem, so we'll round to the nearest tenth, and I'll call it 5.3. So we're going to use 5.3 as our height. So we're going to bring that in as 5.3. So we have the base area is 36 pi times the height, which is 5.3. And then we get 1/3 of that by either multiplying by 1/3 or dividing by 3. So this is just a bunch of stuff I'm going to deal with on my calculator. So I'm going to do 36 times 5.3, and that's about 190.8. And then I'm going to divide that by 3, or multiply it by 1/3. That gets me 63.6. Now there's also that pi in there. So this is 63.6 pi, but remember pi is about 3.14. So since I'm already rounding this with decimals, let's keep going, and I'll do the 63.6 times 3.14. And I get 199.704. And again, we could just round to 1 decimal point as 199.7. We could round up to the nearest whole number and just get that it's about 200. Now let's add in units to our answer. Volume is how many cubic units would fit in, and these were centimeters. So this is centimeters cubed. And in our surface area, I realized I forgot to do that. So surface area is measured in square units. So this would be centimeters squared, square centimeters. All right, there's the solutions. And if you have any other questions about any of this, as always, feel free to ask, and we'll go over that.